Hey guys, naMehTnoJ here for our Who is Better segment, and this one is Dimension Fusion and Return from the Different Dimension. Now, real quickly, a side note is that I realize that Dimension Fusion is banned in the current format, while Return is limited to one, but this is still going to be done because they're two very great cards. They're very great. So I figured it's a worthy discussion. So, anyways, first, Dimension Fusion is a normal spell card. Its effect says, pay 2,000 life points. Both players special summon as many of the remove from play monsters as possible that have been, special summon as many of the monsters that are removed from play. Then, Return from the Different Dimension, normal trap card, says, pay half of your life points. Special summon as many of your remove from play monsters as possible. During the end phase, remove from play all monsters that were special summoned by this effect. So, straight up right away, this is you have to pay 2,000, and this one says you have to pay only half of your life points. So you play this right away from your 8,000, that's 4,000. If you play this from your 8,000, you only go down to 6,000. But the difference is, if you cannot pay the 2,000 with Dimension Fusion because your life points is 2,000 or less, then right away you cannot activate Dimension Fusion. The thing is, this special summons your opponent's monsters. This allows you to special summon only your monsters. So there's a drawback to each one. Another one is, this can be activated on your turn from your hand when you want to. This can be activated on your turn or your opponent's turn when you want to. So this can be a surprise factor. This one cannot be as much. You're like, oh yeah, I kind of saw that coming. But this one, it's like, oh snap. If they do it if your opponent activates this on your turn, and they, summon something big out with this, it can either stop you from continuing with your turn easier or stop you in your tracks right away. So each one, has its benefits right away. So first thing is cards that will hamper these two. Well, Return can easily be affected by Royalty Decree or Trap Stun if your opponent activates it, once you activate Return, because when you activate these cards, Dimension Fusion or Return from a different dimension, you must pay their costs right away. Your opponent cannot just negate it and then you don't have to worry about paying your life points. It's something that is an activation cost. If you play this, you must right away pay 2,000. Then your opponent can use negation stuff on you, like Magic Drain, Magic Jammer, Trap Jammer, whatever. They can do that on you because it's part of its cost to act. You have to pay your life points right away. So any one of these two can really hamper Return, but if you time it at the right time, you can get around it. Next, Dark Bribe. Like I said, if you pay your life points, your opponent can then play Dark Bribe and then negate it. You lose half your life points, but or they can Solemn Judgment the card either. So, but yeah, another example of you gotta be careful of cards like that. So that's why you might have to have like a Solemn or something in your back row to prevent that. Next, Torrential Tribute or Bottomless Trap Pull. The reason why these are bad is either one of these special summons monsters from your remove from play zone. Now, if you're bringing back one monster and your opponent's getting back like 5 with Dimension Fusion, you can activate this, blast theirs, and then do something nasty later on. But that's an example of what you can do. Now, if you activate this, your opponent's special summons, let's say a Cyber Dragon, Gore's Emissary Darkness, Neospatian Grand Mole, and let's say Breaker the Magical Warrior. When they special summon them, you can go boom, Bottomless Trap Pull. You'll hit all the monsters except for a Grand Mole because Bottomless allows you to hit more than one monster as long as its attack points are 1,500 or more, and if the monsters are special summoned at the same time. So, like, the example of another one is if your opponent uses Rescue Cat and they special summon 2 X Saber Arabellums, you can activate Bottomless because they're both 1,500 or more and they're special summoned at the same time. So you can do that with Dimension Fusion as well. Or Return if your opponent activates their own Return. You just go boom. But you hit everything but monsters that are lower than 1,500. So, just be aware of that. The way to abuse Return or Dimension Fusion is play Econ so you don't lose your monster during the end, or it's not as much as a bad thing if you lose your monster in the end phase because you may have already tributed it and then keep it there, So it's pretty nice. Compulsory, activate it, bounce your monster, or bounce one of their monsters or whatever. Chaos Sorcerer, Bazoo are good examples because you can remove and play it either big monsters or a lot of monsters. So later on you can swarm or bring out big beaters with either of these two. You know, bring out, you know, let's say a big light monster, like Guardian of Order, or, you know, Dark Lord Zerato or something weird, but, you know, something really big. And, you know, you can still, that's the way how you can abuse certain cards like that. Necroface, another good card. Let's say you play 5 good monsters with Necroface along with itself. You can activate Return, bring them back, and then when this ends and removes them from play, since Necroface's effect is mandatory, he'll then remove from play 5 more cards, and if your deck's based around Necroface, you know that would be deadly already. So, cards are also kind of great is the DD cards like DD Scout and DD Survivor, because they'll come back from return, if I'm correct, unless I'm wrong, so correct me, but I mean, you know, they'll come back during the end phase, so it's another way to abuse the cards. DD Assailant, another good card, just, you know, you can attack, take a monster and then play return and do some more damage or remove another monster, so it's an example of something you can do though. Cyber Valley is another good monster because you can abuse it with these cards as well. Like, you don't feel so bad then once you use this card in Cyber Valley, because once you use them together, it's just even more deadly. Like, remove play a monster in Cyber Valley, draw 2 cards, activate, return, get back Cyber Valley, remove Cyber Valley, and a monster or a card from your hand, like let's say a monster, get this on back top of your deck and just keep abusing that loop. You know, that's just how good sometimes certain cards can be. Lad, you know, another way to get around returns drawback is summon a big monster that requires tributes that you need to summon, you know, a big monster, for example. And real quickly, a card that's double-sided is an Imperial Iron Wall. If you activate this before your opponent can move one of the monsters, it's deadly, or you can activate it after you activate, or you can activate this after you activate return, so that your monsters won't go back to the remove from play zone. So, yeah, it's pretty deadly, but pretty awesome. So that's pretty much it, guys, and don't forget to vote on which cards you would use in a deck if Dimension Fusion was legal, let's say, for example. So that's pretty much it, guys, and peace out.